So, hello everyone. It is Wellness Wednesday again. It's one of my favorite times of the week. And on Wednesdays, I have friends join me and we just talk about wellness and what it means to us. So, I am excited to be joined today with Akieba Harris. And so, Akieba is another one of the wonderful ladies in our wellness community. And Akieba is just a great person. She's always kind, she's always helpful and encouraging. She's such a nurturer. So, I was just excited to invite Akieba to come and share with us today. So, hey, Akieba.
Hi.
How are you?
I am great. How about you?
Doing great. Doing great. Akieba, will you just introduce yourself to us and just share whatever you want to share?
So my name is Akieba Harris, as she said, and I live in Greensboro, North Carolina. I have two children, so I can't believe it. I have two teenagers. So I have a 17-year-old daughter, and I have a 13-year-old son. I am married, been married going on 22 years. As far as work, I'm a corporate trainer, so I enjoyed that. That's about it.
Perfect. So, Akieba, what does wellness mean to you? Will you tell us that, and then just a little bit of like what brought you to your own wellness journey?
Okay, sure. So to me, wellness is being healthy, mind, body, and spirit. Mm-hmm. And so I believe that they're all tied together. So it's one thing you may be like physically fit, but it's another thing to be physically fit, but you also have peace of mind. You don't have you're not stressed out. Like to me, that's better. It's just to have that total package. And I really think they're all connected. As far as how I started kind of on my wellness journey is just through my years, I've seen a lot of family members and friends that have had different health issues. And because of that, it may have limited them in different ways, they haven't been able to kind of live their life out to the fullest. And so for me, years ago, I said that I want to thrive, not just to survive. So it's one thing I can be here, but I want to be able to chase after my great grandchildren, right? And not and so for me that meant that I had to make some changes, and so I started being consistent with exercise. I started being eating healthier. And so sometimes I'll still have that piece of pizza or that piece of cake or what have you, but for the most part I just wanted to make healthier choices, just because I wanted to be able to thrive as I am here for however long I'm on this earth. So
exactly. So I love the word thrive too. I love that word. What does thriving look like to you?
To me, it's like you're not limited, right? So I'm able, when I get up in the morning, I don't have to, I can just kind of get up, move, have free mobility, go up and down the steps like I need, It's, that just made me think of one of my relatives. They were like, when you get older, make sure you have a house that has one level, because you're not going to be able to climb up the steps, right? So I was like, to me, that's not thriving.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I think we froze. Oh, you're back.
Yep,
we lost you for a second.
Sorry, I don't know what happened there. But so I'm not sure where
you were talking about, like being able to go up the steps and not having to just have a one level home.
So just not being limited because of poor health. So just being able to follow after my kids, to go to their different events and things, and then as I get older and they have kids and things, just no limit. To me, it's no limits. No limits because of your health. And that's not a factor of why I have to say I can't do something because of my health.
Absolutely. What is one thing that you think people misunderstand about wellness?
I think sometimes people they don't realize that it's a journey.
Yeah.
But it's not just a destination. So for example, someone who may be on some diet and they're like, okay, I reached my goal weight. And so then what do? Go get all the junk food, and they're just
Right.
going back to business as usual because they reached that destination or that
Uh-huh.
goal, and not thinking about the fact that, okay, you're going to undo everything that you did. All the progress that you've made, you're undoing that. And
Exactly.
so just to know that it's a continual journey, and that you have to be able to, you have to continue those same activities that got you there, to continue to go forward. And I think about, people used to tell me, well, you're not big, so you don't need to exercise. And so,
Oh, that's a good one.
and it's not about just the weight loss. For one, your heart health, weight exercises, it helps with your mood and just so many different things. But then even with weight management, in order for me to maintain that weight, I do have to just continue to do the things that got me there in the first place.
Yes, that's such a good point. That's so good. And so when people think, that is a great point about, it's not about like weight or how much you weigh or a certain size. Some people think, oh, well, I'm skinny, I don't need to worry about my health. I'll worry about that when I get older. Like, what would you say to somebody who may be thinking that?
I would say it's never too early to start. And even my teenage daughter, I tell her, because she's like just, small, flat, everything. And I'm like, but you want to develop those habits now. Those good habits, because although your metabolism is just working in overdrive and you can do all those things and eat all that stuff,
right?
And she doesn't eat really bad, but her thing as far as timing, just kind of not eating at the right times and things, but just developing those habits now, so that as you get older, it's not a thing where you have to go back and correct and go back and wish, and gotten used to having this donut every day or whatever. Because it's easier to go ahead and develop the habit now. And then because later when that metabolism slows down, and then it's like, ooh, every little thing you eat is sticking to you, right?
Exactly.
And so it's easier to do it now.
I agree. I totally agree. If someone wanted to start living healthy or start a health and wellness journey, what would be like the one thing you would encourage them to do first?
I would say start somewhere.
Somewhere, yes.
Start out small, because I think sometimes people think they get intimidated because they think they have to do some huge thing.
Yeah.
And so that kind of deters them or discourages them from taking the small steps. So whether it's just drinking a little bit more water each day, or going maybe for a walk before or after work, because you're not going to go from just, sitting on the couch one week, binge watching, to next week I'm running a marathon.
Right.
And so just start where you are. And so I think, if you start doing those small activities and doing them consistently, then that'll help you stay encouraged, and, you'll be less likely to quit.
Definitely. And sometimes people will start, they'll say, I did one thing or I tried, but it's too much. This is too much work. It's too hard. Forget it. I don't want to do it. Like, how would you encourage them, so they start small, but then in like a couple of days, they're like, forget about it. What would you say to those people?
And that's real. I mean, sometimes it is hard, especially when it's a big, when it's something different from what you're used to doing. I mean, you've been doing these things for however long you've been doing it, and it's a habit, and it's kind of a stronghold within you.
Right.
And so it's kind of hard sometimes to make that change. So one of the things that I would say is to get an accountability partner.
Yeah.
To have that support, because you're, especially if you say, well, I'm going to walk around the track, a few days a week. If it's just you doing it, you may like, what, I'm tired, I'm gonna hit that button, I'm not doing today.
I ain't got time for that today.
Right. Yeah. If you told your friend, we're gonna go Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, your friend is out there waiting for you.
Right.
You're less likely to say, well, you know what, I don't feel like going, because you're accountable to someone. So I would say that would help.
That's so good. That's so true. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about that lately, just about how important community is. Community is so important when you're trying to start something new or when you're trying to like maintain it. Sometimes, what would you say to someone who has been maybe having a lot of health challenges and they're feeling discouraged and they're like, I've tried many times to get healthy, or I've tried to listen to the doctor, or I've tried to do all these things. I'm discouraged and I'm just tired of it. How would you, what would you say to that person?
One, it's easier. I know it's probably easier said than done, but keep going, keep pushing.
Yeah.
So, but then also find something to hold to. So whether it's a book, that encourages you in the area that you're struggling in, or a podcast or something that you're feeding your mind, because again, it's all connected.
Yes.
Feeding your mind those positive things to help you keep going. So read about people who have maybe struggled with the same thing you are, and overcome it. And then let's look at those stories, be encouraged by those stories. Join, whether it's, Facebook groups or things that have, again, that support, so that can help you, to help encourage you to keep going.
Definitely. Right. And another thing, you hit on this at the beginning when you were talking about just the connection between your mental health and your physical weight and things like that. Sometimes people, if they have like a mental block where there's a lot of challenges going on in the mind, it can be hard to lose weight. It can be hard to progress. So what's some things that somebody can do if they're like having mental struggles? You don't feel like getting up to work out when your mind is all over the place, So what would you say for someone who might need to start with some mental work, some mindset work?
Yeah, to me, positive affirmations.
Yeah.
Things like that. So again, with the podcast, and I love learning and just things that kind of help to build me up. So I'm always listening to that kind of thing. So I'm always just kind of making sure I'm feeding myself, not just physical food, but as far as feeding my mind, with positive things. So I would say, having those positive, podcasts, having, reading affirmations, creating your own affirmations, thinking of things you're grateful for. So I'm big on, having a gratitude journal and kind of each day writing down a few things that I'm grateful for, because then that causes you, it kind of turns your mindset to now you're thinking about something good. And it's hard to think about good things and still feel bad.
Right.
And so, and then I don't, discount as far as, you may need to speak to someone,
exactly.
You may need
Absolutely.
to go to a counselor and
there's no shame in that.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Those are all great points, Akieba. Anything else you want to add or share that you just feel like we need to let people know today?
I would just reiterate just some of the things that we've been talking about today for those people that are, maybe going through those, mental challenges or, challenges with their health, and they don't see their way out. I would encourage you that there is a way, and just, reach out to someone else. I think that the support is very important. There are people out there who are willing to help. So again, we're not into, shaming people and things like that. It's just, like I said, start where you are and just do something. So make a decision today that if there's one little thing, I'm going to drink more water, or I'm going to eat a piece, eat an extra fruit each day or something like that. Start small and just go from there.
Absolutely. And I think when we're going through things, we always feel like we're the only one. You feel like you are absolutely the only person struggling with your physical fitness or your mindset or your wellness. And you're never the only one. There's always other people experiencing what you're experiencing. And there's always community that wants to bring you in and say, come on, let's do it together. Because it's always easier to do the work together.
Right.
So, yeah, I definitely agree. Akieba, thank you so much for sharing today. Absolutely. For sharing just your thoughts on wellness and what you're doing. So we appreciate you so much. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for all of those of you who are watching with us and sharing comments and things. We'll go back through and read comments too, and comment to those of you who might have had questions. We just appreciate you being here with us today, and we'll see you next week for Wellness Wednesday. Everybody have a great day.
Bye.